want to remind you, if you're out driving, please be careful, because a lot of times you don't really know it, but manhole covers can be missing, branches can be down, ponding water where you didn't expect to see it. We're going to show you some more video that we got today. Our team was out, well, until just a few minutes ago gathering video. And let's take a look at this next clip here. We're just kind of winging it tonight because we want to show you as much as we can. We're just getting in very quickly. This is Airport and University, and cars were actually being stalled out on Airport and University. Now, you don't think about that being a place where cars would stall out.
Yeah, this is one of the susceptible spots around Airport and University where you kind of have that little lull when you get down towards the Publix.
Yeah.
But that car that you see on the right, that is a car that got stranded from the floodwater. This was after it actually receded a little bit. And to your point earlier with the wakes, I mean, every single time a car passes by, it just shoves more water towards that car. So that was kind of one of the first signs that things were getting bad, and it was only going to escalate more as that heavy rain migrated towards Midtown and then downtown Mobile. And that was shared by Tyler Smith.
And that, what time did that? That was probably about 5 o'clock.
That was during the
early afternoon.
Early afternoon.
And see, if you, well, most of you have probably heard it. It started raining earlier today, sometime about what, 2 o'clock or something, 1 or 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, and we also saw a little bit of rain this morning. It wasn't anything that was too heavy, but it kind of helped set the table just that little bit.
Raise the water table a little bit more. We have some more. We have some more video, and take a look. This is crazy. Now, this came from
also from Tyler Smith.
From Tyler. Okay. Yeah, this is a brief clip, but we'll let it loop a little bit, because how often do you see water flooding that liquor store on Broad Street?
Yeah, this is Broad near Government. I mean, and there were a lot of cases where around Broad Street and Government where it turned into more of a river and more of a lake, and there were even some examples of when the water started to go down a little bit, it was still high in other places where emergency crews were turning down Broad Street and they were hauling boats.
Oh, yeah, I saw several past me. Now, and something else, Broad Street, you must remember, it's just been redone. All new utilities and everything, and that has already happened twice at least, flooding like that on Broad Street after the Tiger Grand. It's got a lot of people going, why is that so? Well, probably it feeds into a system that hasn't been updated yet.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help when things, with just how much water that we saw. And this is an example. This was in Daphne, and based on what Tyler was saying, it looks like that car might have been pushed off the road after somebody had already gotten out. But that's why we say, if you cannot see the bottom of the roadway, don't attempt to drive through it, because really it does not take a lot of water to push your car. No. And you could end up in a ditch like that, but that car is about 3/4 of the way submerged with its lights still on. That's dangerous.
Well, which obviously means that they were in the process of operating it because the lights were on when this happened. That is, yeah, that's dangerous. And you don't think about it, but a lot of times, and I remember during Hurricane Danny when it was flooding in Midtown, and I was walking through the water up to my waist. Yeah. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, there might be a missing manhole cover below me. It might not be a road underneath. You have to think about that. Okay, here's a perfect example. Now that's in Midtown. That was earlier today, and you can see there's a cone in a hole there. I don't know if that's a manhole or what, but you can get an idea of how
things kind of dip down into it right there. Yeah, just avoid that.
You have to be really, really careful, because you don't know what's beneath it. Now, these officers were out a little bit earlier today. That's that car on Dolphin Street we showed you earlier.
Yeah. And to your point, you never know what's in those floodwaters, and we say it during hurricane season, but if there's surge, there are critters that get displaced. And and the weather has been getting warmer, so some of those critters are
I had thought about that. Thanks. Something else to worry about. Okay, and I believe we have a couple more pieces here that we want to show you. Okay, Pine Hill. Now, this was where a rescue happened a little bit earlier. We're going to go to that there. Okay, Pine Hill at Slava, I believe, is where this took place. We heard this on the scanner, and they had to send water rescue. I think it was Water Rescue 20. I can't remember for sure. But the water rescue folks with Mobile Fire and Rescue tonight have been extremely busy.
Yes, and around a lot of those creeks, and there's been a lot of examples of normally dry ditches turning into rivers. And one creek that normally isn't all that high, just want to mention, we don't have video, at least at this particular point, but somebody sent me a photo and video from Bay Minette Creek near Bromley Road with that water completely covering Bromley Road.
For a good stretch of it.
Yeah, for a good stretch of it, which would make it unsafe, because if your car got swept up in that, you could have it end up eventually going down the creek.
Now, Broad Street finally did get back within its bank. Well, it kind of does, doesn't it? I think that's actually, that looks more like Government Street there. And Government Street, you know, got to remember we have a lot of old infrastructure. Okay, that may be Broad, I'm not sure. But I believe that is, and you can get an idea, the water has gone down on Broad Street some from that daytime picture we had at the liquor store. How long does it take this to go down, do you think?
Well, I mean, thankfully the water has started to go down, and it started to go down this evening. It's just, we talked about it earlier this evening too. Normally when we see these floods, the water comes up really fast and then it goes
down fast,
goes down about as quickly as it came. It just didn't, because we just continue to see that light to moderate rainfall, and then most of those cars that have their flashers on, they had to be left because they wouldn't go anymore.
Okay, Dauphin Island Parkway. This is down, I believe, toward Dauphin, the Dog River Bridge. Yeah, that's right. It is down toward the Dog River Bridge, and that's an area that floods quite a bit. But take a look. That's a big truck right there. That's a mobile police vehicle.
And obviously, the mobile police needs a vehicle that's lifted that high.
Yeah, and so that gives you an idea how deep it is. And I've got a Ford F-150, and there were times today when I was out getting this video that all of a sudden I realized the water was at the bottom of my doors, and I was a little terrified because I thought, you know, I just got this vehicle. I don't want to ruin it. And so that's why you want to stay at home. You don't want to put yourself in that jeopardy in your vehicle because, you know, it costs some money to get those fixed. But,
so at the end of the day, if you're in or even kind of around any of the warnings, just stay put as we go through tonight.
Absolutely. Just make yourself comfortable at home.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take a break, and then we'll be right back and see when this is going to go away.
Yep. Let's do that.